Hi, Zizaran here with another build for the upcoming 3.20 Sanctum League, and this is not necessarily the safest League starter, but a lot of you asked for a melee League starter specifically using the new skills Volcanic Fissure, and I'm teaming up with Karatha, who is going to be League starting Volcanic Fissure, and we're going to give you some ideas of how we would do it. Now, this is a new skill, so this is incredibly unsafe, and I am not going to recommend this for new players, but since Karatha is going to be League starting this, you'll be able to go to his channel and check out what he's doing and follow along there. With that in mind, we don't really know what's going to be some upsides and downsides for this skill. So if you are a new player, we do have a lot of other League starters that are going to be safer. But we wanted to make sure that we put this out there for those that really want to try a new skill as their League starter. And if all these League starters help you have a better League start, please consider subscribing, and thanks so much for the support. So Karatha, tell us a little bit about the theory for this build. How do you see things working, and what are you planning to do?
The current plan is to go Trinity with Winter Spirit and Hatred. And Hatred's really good on Champion because you have a bunch of Aura Effect. Ally Weakness is also quite strong, so that's why you have the Doter's Damning. Eventually, the plans have +1 Curse and the Ally Weakness on hit. Par's idea came from Quantric, so I have to give a shout out to him as well.
So obviously, this is not a full build guide because the skill is not out yet. Like I said, go to Karatha's channel, ask him questions, and see what he's doing. As a backup option, a really nice thing about this build is that it is a champion. So there are so many things you could be respec into if the build ends up being trash. And obviously, you could just remake a new character. It is always a huge risk to start with a new skill because it end up being bad could affect you quite a lot if you're playing in Trade League and you're trying to get to maps first to make a lot of money. So it is a risky start. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. That being said, make sure you check out Karatha's channel, follow him on YouTube and Twitch. Does amazing content and really takes builds to their outer limits. If anyone can make this work, it's going to be Karatha, so make sure you check him out. So Karatha's made a rough PoB here for how he foresees like the early game and stuff like that to go. That is going to be step by step. But obviously, the absolute best thing is going to be watching him live and seeing how he handles everything, because things might be changing on the fly. Another problem with the new skill is that this is not updated in Path of Building yet, as we just got the numbers today for what Volcanic Fissure is going to look like at level 20. That means that we are currently using a placeholder. So we're currently using Molten Strike in the Path of Building, and then we're doing some special configs to sort of account and simulate for what it's going to be. It is also not a slam, which Volcanic Fissure is, so it's a little bit annoying to try to calculate. So we're doing some things for that, but it will be updated anywhere from a few days after launch to around a week. At least this should give you some idea of how to build it. So Volcanic Fissure is a level 12 gem, and something that's really cool is that it has a Val version. So this is something you'd want to early try to get a Val version of. That might help with single target, it might help with clear. And it looks like it is traveling independently of you, so it could be really nice to just drop on a blue pack. If Volcanic Fissure is awful, then try leveling with, for example, Thunder. For items, we are going to be trying to using axes for this build. And early on, you're just going to be looking at life, accuracy, and suppression gear on all your gear. So, and also obviously, try to get resist capped. Elemental damage with attack skills is also going to be a very big stat for this. One thing that's a really good pickup for the build is probably going to be Doter's Damning, because we could use Elemental Weakness and Sniper's Mark, and that's going to be really good. One thing for getting leveling damage early is Precise Technique. The way this works is that you need to have your accuracy rating higher than your life. So I think it's in the Miscellaneous or Offense tab, but it will say like, 700 accuracy, etc., or 4,000, and having things like Precision early on will help that. That number needs to be bigger. So if you have 1,200 accuracy, you can have up to 1,199 life. So one thing we don't 100% sure know, but assuming that it's working similar to Molten Strike, then the Thor projectiles could be really great for getting more overlap on the balls. And another thing is that this build you could force yourself to get Adrenaline by, for example, weapon swapping and doing Corrupting Fever. By losing life, you will get that like Adrenaline buff, which is going to give you a lot more damage. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.